going to move. We are going to move.
We had an amazing summer, and we learned so much in Island Park, and we absolutely love that area. We love our property. We love so many of the people there. We made a ton of friends. We have some family there. There were amazing things that were supposed to be, in our mind, our forever home there.
Yeah. But I think that after spending a couple of years there, a couple of seasons, and we learned a lot about the property and some of the logistical issues, and we had changes in the area that we were at that limited us from doing the things that we wanted to do with our property. And we looked around and said, okay, could we do better than this? And that's as we looked around at different options and different locations, the Panhandle had everything that we wanted. Well, minus one thing. Sorry, go ahead.
It's super far away. It's really far away from where we both grew up, and so a lot of our family and a lot of our friends. Island Park was about 5 hours from
family.
Anything that we really needed to go to, family events for. And this puts us a lot further away. And that was the only downside. But we sat down and we made a list of everything we wanted for the homestead, everything we wanted for our relationship, for work,
for kids
mostly, because
we're gonna be in the kid business for the next 20 years. We've got kids all the way from 2 all the way to 15, and so access to schools and school events became a bit of a high priority that may not be a priority for other people.
Our kids we weren't at a place where we were going to homeschool yet. It's definitely been a topic of conversation, but we haven't made that transition yet. Our kids really like what they're doing right now in the social aspect of public school.
They definitely like the social, and they like the sports teams. They like to be able to be on a swim team or be on the volleyball team and participate with those things with their friends. And I think if we would have started homeschooling at a younger age, it might be a different situation.
And we're talking about it for the 2-year-old. We're talking about it for the younger kids, just starting that way. So that's still something in the works. But so they were spending 3 hours a day just in transport to and from school, and they were never home, and they weren't ever able to stay after school to get help with certain classes or to play basketball or any of the things they wanted to do, because it would have taken us an hour and a half down to pick them up and an hour and a half back, which would have been our whole evening. There were some complications like that.
Initially, there's other issues with that, especially where we had kids going into high school and wanting to participate in cheerleading and sports activities that 2 years ago we didn't really anticipate. But
the biggest factor was, we were willing to do the hard because it was beautiful. We were willing to do the harsh, hard winters there. But because of how much we loved it and how good we felt about that piece of property. But there were some changes in our neighborhood. There were some CCNRs that were being resurrected from the 70s and some new things being put in place that were going. Okay. Stop.
You look really pretty.
Thank you. Okay, can we start?
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Where were
I guess pick up where we left off.
Yeah. So changes in the neighborhood that
affected the big picture for us. We wanted just all the things that we imagined for the rest of our lives. Our dream, I guess you could call it, was going to be affected by by some of the things that they were going to implement. And so some advice would be really study the area that you are purchasing. If you are purchasing land, study. I wouldn't ever do a HOA.
Well,
and even if they have CC&Rs.
And even if your real estate agent tells you that there is no HOA, and that there's no one.
The CC&Rs have been there since the 70s, but they don't really do much about it.
Just because there's not an HOA formed and put together doesn't mean that there weren't CC&Rs filed with the subdivision on file that can be resurrected, put together, which can cause for charging fees for road maintenance, that can require an architectural committee that you have to get past your plans for shops, buildings, barns, whatever, and the list goes on and on. Just because there's not an HOA in effect doesn't mean that there aren't possibly rules tied to that area or that
piece
neighborhood.
Of property. Anyway, needless to say, it did not work out for what we wanted. I want to be able to build a rock wall or stack the rocks that we had to pull out of the ground, and make the most of it, use it around our property, and not be told that it's ugly and that we are not allowed to. So just even small things like that made us reconsider what we were doing there. We still want the same dream, we still have all the same goals, but we realized that it was going to need a different location.
Yeah, in order to accommodate kids, to accommodate our future plans, and let us do the things that we wanted to do. And you know, everything happens for a reason. I'm not upset. There's no animosity. We learned a lot. We made a lot of great friends, and
a ton of great memories. But there's some sting. We worked so hard on that property all year, and we put every dime that we had into it. And so there's a lot of heartbreak. It was and still is a sensitive topic, and it's hard for me. This guy's more tough, but I miss it, and I miss a lot of the people we went to church with were like people you've never found before. Everybody was working together.
There was such
fighting to stay alive.
A sense of community
awesome.
And friendship, and do anything for you. And I think that we'll find that again. So far, our experience in the new location has been really positive.
We've only been here for a couple weeks, and
I love everything about it. So I think this experience here in the Panhandle in northern Idaho is going to be, we're going to do things a little bit different. Instead of living on the property while building the house, we're going to rent a place, get everybody comfortable, and then get to work on building the house.
Well, at least in the beginning, at least until we can get a house shelled in and it livable, maybe not completely to completion, but yeah, maybe do it a little bit differently that way.
And that'll let us make sure the kids are comfortable and taken care of and enjoying life, and yet we'll be able to be out on the property because it's only minutes away, and working on building the house and developing the property and doing all the things that we wanted to do.
What I liked about living on the property was that if we didn't work it every day, it wasn't going to be livable. So I liked the drive. It was hard. It was hard to be without running water for 5 months. There are a lot of people out there that are off-grid. We were not off-grid.
Well,
we were rural, country
rural.
living.
We had a well, and we had septic, and we had power that we finally got put in. But even this new property will have power and I guess that's it. It'll have
septic and
then
hopefully a well.
We'll drill a well. We'll put in septic. We'll have propane. So we'll have
But-
all of the comfort.
But waiting for our well to be drilled for 5 months was hard, but we look back and we're like, that was so cool. And all the things how close we all became living in a very small space. And
I don't think we would ever be able
was
to
awesome.
replace that experience that we got to share as a family and grow together and grow individually. I mean,
No, it
the
pushed
kids,
our limits for sure.
our relationship, it was a good thing. And I know that we can have those same types of experiences here on this property that will do much the same to help us learn and grow as a family. And
those
that's
have been
all
some
I
of our
want.
considerations, like, oh, it was so good to live on the property and develop it at the same time. So that we've definitely gone back and forth on, should we do that again or should we live in a rental that's close? So we're going to try the rental for a little bit and see. I think we were possibly more productive living on the property versus at a
Well,
rental, because you're not comfortable and you're working every day.
Yeah, you're like,
Right?
I'm cold, I need to go split some firewood. Or, hey, I need shelter, so I better build some shelter.
Yeah.
This is a little different, where I can go work on the house, work on the property, and then drive 10 minutes and go home. But there may be evenings, instead of, hey, I'm on the property, I'll run out and put in 30 or 40 minutes worth of work after dinner. It'll be, well, the kids have got an activity, I'll go do that instead. So I think there's pros and cons.
I think there is too, like with everything, but I'm happy about where we are. The kids are really happy. It's still winter, still a strong winters, but not as harsh. The temperatures don't get to as low, and you don't get quite as much snow as we would have in our last location. So there's definitely some neat things about it, and that to get to a grocery store or some of the modern conveniences like that, it's so much closer. And that,
Well, it's just as wanting to build a home and thinking about, okay, every time I need a bunk of 2x4s or I need to get another roll of wire, I'm not looking at driving an hour and a half to get to Home Depot, or I guess 2 hours, almost 2 hours to get to Home Depot. Here, I can get to Home Depot in just a few minutes, and I think that in a lot of ways logistically will speed up the project and have us get the house done a lot quicker than building in that other more rural environment.
and as you guys watch our journey, keep in mind that the YouTube is just a fun part of us being able to document our life for our future even. But Josh works a full-time job, so we definitely probably don't produce as much on our property and video wise as some people may like, but we're still in the stage of life where he's working full-time during the days, and we're trying to build our own future in the evenings or weekends.
Yeah, I think that's well said. I don't think a lot of people realize that I have a construction company and a construction business, and that keeps us really busy. And we try to share some of that as we go along, some of the neat stuff that we work on, and at the same time trying to get our own house built this coming year, and at the same time be husband, father, business owner, neighbor. It's tough. Time is limited, but we try and share as much as we can, and we'd certainly like to hear from you on what your interests are, or what part of the journey you have more interest in or less interest in. Because we absolutely love sharing, and we love the friends that we've met through YouTube, people that have come to visit,
Other homesteaders.
yeah, other people in the community. We like that a lot. So, let us know in the comments what you'd like to see more of, or what you'd like to see less of.
And always we giggle together at a lot of the comments, because keep in mind you're always looking through just a tiny peephole of what we share. On the last video of us getting stuck, that was the only vehicle that we had hooked up to the trailer at the moment, and we just thought, hey, let's just give it a run up the hill and see. It's not that we are not educated and don't realize what snow tires are and chains and studded tires and things like that. We're smart people, but you just get you get a small window to look through into our lives, and so some of the comments are make us laugh.
But for every goofy comment, there's good information shared. And I think that's the thing I love about the YouTube experience, is that I learn as much from the subscribers as I try and share. And I don't know that I'm sharing a whole lot of great information, but I feel like I learn a lot and I get a lot of perspective, and we share ideas. And I really like that aspect of sharing the journey and getting the feedback. And not all of it is positive, which is fine, but I get to learn a lot, and I love that about this YouTube thing. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions, and we'll try and do some more of these videos to answer those questions.
Actually, what I want to do is, I would love to hear all of your questions for us about what we've shared in our update, and then we're going to do a Q&A on Sunday.
And
we're going to go through all your comments on this video, and we are going to use those comments to answer things on the Q&A. And obviously we'll still take live Q&A questions, but if you can comment below questions you have or advice or that you may want or that you have for us,
we would love to hear it. And then I'd like to start doing a more regular live show on the weekends. We'll kind of try and figure out what's going to be best for that. But at that point, then answer those questions, and with the live show, be able to kind of field some of those questions directly.
So leave those questions for us on this video below.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone.